Alright, and hello everyone, it is me, Jay Burns, and in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you all how to make this bracelet right here. This bracelet is my own original design, and I actually made this bracelet over a year ago, and if you would like to see the original post on Instagram that I have of this bracelet, then it will be linked in the description. But anyway, I named this bracelet the Coral Fish Bracelet, because I just didn't have a better name for it. And I also made it at the time that I made a color combo, which you can see here in the bracelet. And I named it the Coral Reef Bracelet, and so I just came up with Coral Fish, and I was like, okay, that's the name of the bracelet. So anyway, I'll be showing you how to make this bracelet. It is a hook-only bracelet, which means you don't need a loom, you just need a hook to make it. In addition to the hook, you will need a clip for closing the design off. I'll be using a C-clip, but any clip you use to make rubber band bracelets should work. Then you will also obviously need rubber bands, and there are 3 groups. The bands here in the A group, which I will be calling something else, are going to be pretty much the bands here that are in a group of 3. That kind of just look like regular single chain loops here in the bracelet. They also include the cap band at the beginning and this last band at the end of the bracelet. And I'll be calling them the triple bands, because you usually have 3 of them when you're making the bracelet, and you'll see when we can start making it. But anyway, the second group here in the little B section are going to be what I'm going to call the outer bands, and where you look here where we have the purple, pink, and orange. The B rubber bands here are the outside 2 bands, so the purple and orange bands. That's what these B color bands are, and they'll be called the outside bands. In this last group here, these are the C rubber bands, and I'll be calling them the center bands. And if you look here again where we have the orange, pink, and purple, the C bands, or the center bands, are going to be the pink bands. So, yeah. In the description, I'll have the number of each type of band you'll need to complete the little pattern I'll be showing you for how to make the bracelet, listed in the description. And yeah, so the number of each type of band you'll need to complete the pattern that's used to make this bracelet once, and also the length of each section, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So use the pause button to get the supplies you'll need. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Alright, so I forgot to say this at the very beginning, but it doesn't matter which hook you have to use. I just have this double-ended hook, but I'll be showing you how to make it if you only have one sided hook or just one hook here. And it's really easy. So anyway, we're going to start by getting our triple bands. We're going to get 3 of them, which is why they're called the triple bands. And we're going to take one, and we're going to make it a cap band on our hook. To do this, we take the band on our hook like so, and twist it while it's on our hook, and the new shape you create, you're going to put on your hook as well. Alright. Now, we're going to get a outside band or outer band, and we're going to put it on our hook like so, and slide this cap band onto the new band. Once it's on there, you can put the other end of the new band on your hook, and you've got something like this here. Now we're going to take another one of our triple bands. We're going to make it into a cap band as well. Same way as the first. This time we're going to get a center band, and we're going to slide this new cap band onto the center band. So we're not even doing anything with this outer band that we have on our hook already. We're going to take our last triple band, make it a cap band on our hook as well. Then we're going to get another outer band, and just like we did the first time, we're just going to put it on our hook like so, and slide this cap band onto the new band. Put the other end of the new band on your hook, and now we should have an outer band, a center band, and an outer band in that exact order on our hook. Alright, so now pretty much the little pattern is going to begin. So to start, we're going to kind of overlap these bands here. So this time we're going to overlap the center band over the outer bands. And what I mean is, I'll show you here on the left side. You're going to take this side of the center band, which is on the left, and overlap the band on your hook. Overlap it over that little center band loop, and it looks like this here. Then you'll do the same with the other side. So you'll take the right side of the center band and pull it over this loop here. That's an outer band loop. And now you have something like this here. Now we can get 3 triple bands. And we're going to add them to the bracelet. So we're going to take one, put it on our hook, and just make sure you have your bands in order after you had overlapped them. And we need to grab the first 2 loops here. So this outer band loop, and there should be a center loop. Just grab those 2 and pull them onto the new band. We'll put the other end of the new band on your hook, and there we go. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to get another triple band, put it on our hook, oops, like so. We're going to take these 2 triple band loops that are already on our hook, we're going to slide them on to the new band, oops. Re-overlap that band there. And now we should also have 2 outer band loops next. So we need to get those as well. Then, before we put the other end of the new band onto our hook, we need to put these 2 loops here that are a triple band that we had put on before. We need to put those back on our hook. So we'll just slide our hook underneath those 2 loops to put them back on, and then put the other end of the new band onto your hook. Now if you have a double-ended hook, you can actually slide these bands over to the other side and add your last triple band to what would be the first 2 loops, which would be these 2. So if I had my bands flipped over, you would just add that triple band to those 2 loops. But if you don't have a double-ended hook, then what you can do is you just take this next triple band, and now we got to pull all the bands onto the new band so that we can get those last 2 bands at the end, which are a center band and an outer band loop. And once those are on the new band, you need to put all these triple band loops back on your hook the same way you did the first time. It's just now there's a lot more. And once they're all on, you can put the other end of this new band onto your hook as well. And once you do, you need to adjust the bands so that nothing is overlapping anything on your hook. So you got something like this here. Once you have that, now we're going to work with our center and outer bands again. So get 2 outer bands and 1 center band. And to start, we're just going to take an outer band, add it to these first 2 triple band loops. Then we're going to get a center band, put it on our hook like so. We'll need to get this outer band, so we'll have to put that on the new band. But we also need to make sure we get the next 2 loops, so the next 2 triple band loops on the new band. Then we're going to slide the outer band loops back onto our hooks, and put the other end of the new band on your hook, and then you can adjust the bands if you want. Then we need to get another outer band, and just like before, if you have a double-ended hook, you could slide these bands over to the other end and just add this band to these first two triple band loops. But if you don't have a double-ended hook, you would just take this outer band here. We have to slide all the bands onto the new band. And before you put the other end, oh, what is going on here? There we go. Before you put the other end of this new band onto your hook, we need to just re-pick up all these center band here and the other outer band. Make sure they're back on your hook, and then you can put the other end onto your hook as well. And now you should have no triple band loops on your hook at all. So it should just be this. Alright, so last time we overlapped the center band over the outer bands. This time we're going to overlap the outer bands over the center. So here for the left side, you would take the outer band this time, the outer band loop, and overlap the center. Then over here on the right, you would grab this outer band loop and overlap the center. There we go. Alright, so we need to make sure we keep those bands in that order, and now we're going to add 3 triple bands. So it's going to be the exact same thing we did before. We're going to take a triple band, put it on our hook. We're going to get these first 2 loops onto that new band. Make sure you keep those bands organized. Alright, get another triple band, put it on our hook. This time we also need to get this first triple band we added. Then we also need to get these next 2 loops, which should both be outer band loops. Then before you put the other end of the new band onto your hook, you need to make sure you get the triple band that you had to put on that new band back on your hook, and then put the other end of the new band on your hook. After that, if you have a double-ended hook, you can just slide these over to the other side and just add the triple band to these first 2 loops, because your bands will look like that. But if you only have one side, a one-sided hook, or just one hook, then you'll take your triple band, the last one you need for this part here. You'll slide all the bands onto your hook, and then we need to return these other triple band loops that we had to push onto the new band. So make sure they get back on your hook, and then you can put the other end of the new band on. And once you finish, you need to make sure that you fix all the bands here, make sure none of them are overlapping, and there you go. That is the pattern for making the coral fish bracelet. So it is a little bit long, but it's really simple. I'll go ahead and explain one more time how you make it, and then you'll just repeat the pattern over and over until you make your bracelet, or until you make it long enough to be a bracelet for yourself or whoever you're making it for. Alright, so you're going to need, for this first little part, you're going to need 2 outer bands and 1 center band. And the process is really simple. Each band, there's always 2 loops going on each band. So the only thing that's really important is making sure that all the loops are in order. So for this, you need to make sure all the loops, none of them are overlapping each other. And first you're going to take an outer band and take these first 2 triple band loops and put them on the new band. Next we take a center band, we put it on our hook like so, and we need to slide this outer band's loops on in order to get to the 2 triple band loops here in the middle. Then we need to return these outer band loops back to our hook, so we gotta put them back on, and then put the other end of the new band on our hook. Then, like I've said throughout this tutorial, If you have a double-ended hook, you can just slide the bands over to the other end and add your your other outer band to these two remaining triple band loops. But if you only have one side with a hook on it, then you need to grab all the bands and put them on the new band. And then return the two center band loops and then these other two outer band loops. Then you can put the other end of the new band onto your hook. Alright, so whenever you come to center bands and outer bands, you're on your hook, you need to do some overlapping. So first, we overlap the center band over the outer bands. So here on the left, we just take the band, overlap it. Here on the right, center band goes over a little outer band loop. So as you can see, the center band isn't going all the way over. So it's not all the way over like this. It's just kind of in between the two loops that make one outer band. So it's like this. And now we're going to add 3 triple bands. And this part is very easy as well. We just need to make sure that all of our loops stay in the correct order. So we take a triple band and we take only these first 2 loops and put them on this new band. Now we're going to take another triple band, and like we have to do always, is we need to take this next, or these first triple band here that we had to add before. Oh, and the bands are losing their order. So we need to get this triple band onto the new band in order to reach the next 2 loops, which are both outer band loops. Then we need to return the triple band loops back to our hook that we had to put on the new band, and then put the other end of the new band on our hook. Then, like I said before, you can slide the bands over to the other end of your hook if you have a double-ended hook, but for everyone else, you just take a triple band, slide all the bands on to the new band, and return all the triple band loops, since that's what we're adding. And once you've returned them all, you can put the other end of the new band on your hook, and you need to make sure you reorganize all the loops so that no loops are overlapping any other loops. Alright, so we got through the first half of the pattern. Now we're going to do the second half. So for the second half, once again, you're going to need 2 outer bands and a center band. You pretty much get the idea. We're going to take an outer band first and get these first 2 loops onto that new outer band. Then we're going to take a center band. We have to move these outer bands here, these outer loops, onto the new center band in order to reach the next 2 loops we need to add, which are both triple band loops. And then we gotta return the outer band loops to our hook. You can do a little reorganizing before you add the next band. And like I've been saying, you can just take these bands over to the other end of your hook, so to the other hook if you have a double-ended hook, but if you don't, we just take our next outer band, pull all the bands on to the new band, and return the center band loops and the other outer band loops to our hook before putting the other end of the new band onto our hook as well. And then you'll want to, at first, reorganize these bands so that nothing's overlapping. And once you have that, this time we're going to overlap the outer bands over the center band. So just these little inner loops are going to be overlapping the center band loops. So you got something like this here. Now we're going to add our last little round of triple bands. So we're going to get 3 of them. And, well, we're going to take a triple band. And we just need to make sure all the bands stay in order. We're going to take the first 2 loops, which is an outer band and a center band loop. Those go on the new band. Then next we get another triple band. And the first triple band we added needs to be put onto that new band so that we can reach the next 2 loops, which should both be outer band loops. Then we need to return the triple band loop back to our hook, and then put the other end of the new band on our hook as well. And then, you know, double-ended hook people can just move this over to the other end. If you don't have that, well, all you gotta do is take another triple band, slide all the bands onto the new band, and then return all of the triple band loops to our hook before putting the other end of the new band onto our hook as well. There we go, that's pretty much it. So that's the pattern. If you're still a little unsure about the pattern, go back to the time that I'll have listed at the top of the description, right under my little, oh, don't make a tutorial unless you ask, but anyway, under that little thing, I'll have the time you can go back to see the pattern again. And yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to close the bracelet off. So you're going to need 1 triple band, so this is the only time that you don't get 3 triple bands at once. And then you'll also need your clip. So I would recommend ending your bracelet off where you have the 3 triple bands on your hook, so pretty much at the end of the pattern, or the little pattern. You could even stop halfway through if you find that if your bracelet's too long to complete the whole thing, so you could just not have this part and end it off where you have 3 triple bands, but you're still not finished the whole little pattern. As long as you end your bracelet off with 3 triple bands, then that's pretty much what I recommend you do. So anyway, we're going to take 1 triple band this time, and we're going to put it on our hook and slide all of the bands onto our hook, onto the new band. Once they're on, you'll put the other end of the new band on your hook, and you'll have something like this here. And once you do, you're going to take your clip and attach it to the 2 loops of this triple band on our hook. And then you can take your hook out. And then we need to attach this clip to these 3 cap bands here that we made at the beginning. Now if you find this to be a little bit too difficult, which I actually ended up doing that here for this bracelet, if you find that to be too difficult, I have another little sample here. What you can do is you can take a second triple band and pull it through all of the cap band loops. So you would have to come down here with your hook, get all the loops of the 3 cap bands down here. So you should end up with 6 loops on your hook. Get a triple band, pull it through all these, the other end onto your hook, and then you can just attach your clip to this loop here. And that's a lot easier to do than attaching it to 3 cap bands. But that band there is optional. Anyway, once you attach it, you will have your coral fish bracelet, and you can put it on if it's bracelet length. And I didn't make mine bracelet length, as you can see here, but that was just for the length of this tutorial. But anyway, let's just go ahead and move into the outro. So, I would like to thank you for watching my tutorial. Hopefully it showed you how to make the coral fish bracelet successfully. Hopefully now you have the bracelet, and you think it's kind of cool and stuff. Make some different little kind of variations of it. As you can see here with my original example, my outer bands and center bands were doubled, and that's because I just used regular opaque and just not really round bands like I did in this tutorial. And also just a little note, if you kind of like the bands or are interested in the bands that I have used in this little tutorial, then I'll have a link to the web store where you can buy them in the description. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say for this tutorial, other than thanks for watching, and bye!